Hi, my name's Carl and I've given myself 6 months to become the best fisherman in the UK.
Big fish. Seriously big fish.
No way.
He's angry. I feel a bit sick.
You see, for most people, fishing is a way to get outside and relax. But to others, it's a serious competitive sport with huge cash prizes, high stakes and international fame. Match fishing is a worldwide sport where anglers compete against one another to work out who really is the best of the lot. And so I decided to enter myself into a competition to see if I had what it takes to be the best of the best. Okay, it was just a local match with low stakes and very little money involved, but it was a real competition and I was curious to see how I'd get on.
7. You don't happen to know where peg 7 is? Well, this is a pretty small match. There's barely any people involved, very little money on the table, but I'm really nervous. Landing net's ready, keep net, bank stick, 2 rods just in case. Bring it on.
I was straight in. It was just like a normal fishing session.
That's my first ever carp in a match, that is.
But this time, there was money on the line, and I'd got a feeling I'd be winning some.
Fish on.
I'd caught a few decent carp within an hour of starting. Everything was going my way, until it didn't. I proceeded to sit in the rain for 4 hours and catch nothing, whilst everyone else around the lake seemed to be bagging up. The match came to a close. We weighed the fish in my net, which came to a grand total of £28. Not bad. Could have been really good if everyone else hadn't gone and caught upwards of £40. If I was really going to do this, I realised that I was going to need some serious help. And so I was on my way to meet with 2 of the best competition anglers I know.
Oh, morning.
How are you?
Good to see
you. You alright?
Yeah, good.
You filming?
No.
If anyone knew how to be the best, it was these 2.
Hi guys.
Good morning.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does it take to be the best fisherman in the country? How good do you have to be?
Great question. It is a great question.
What's the biggest match in the UK?
Depends, doesn't it? It depends what you are.
Money.
The guys talked me through some of the biggest competitions in the UK. The first offering a grand prize of £100,000. The next was Fishermania, paying over £70,000. In fact, after adding the top 3 together, it came to just under £300,000 for 1 year's worth of fishing, which made me ask the question.
What are the chances of me winning that?
In one year? You want to win them all in one year?
In 1 year, to win all of those, because it's this year, I've only got this year, I've given myself 6 months.
I'd say that's impossible. I'm going to say to qualify for one of those in a year would be very, very difficult and take a lot of time and commitment.
Yeah, but I reckon we could get him in a final in 6 months.
I think so.
With a bit of direction.
A big final with big prize money.
You're very capable as an angler. You know your stuff.
Fancy Riverfest?
What's that?
Matt had suggested a specific competition, still with the prize money and thousands of other anglers to go against, but centred around river fishing, something I felt I was half decent at. We decided to meet up and fish together so that Matt could show me the ropes and I could see what it was like to go up against a world-class match angler.
Hello?
Matt and I had agreed to a friendly competition on a section of canal not far from where the Riverfest final would take place. I needed to feel what it would be like during an actual qualifier.
Come on.
To see if I had what it takes, but this was also my chance to fish alongside one of the world's greatest match anglers.
So, I am pole fishing today. I know that Carl's using a rod, but this one, lots of little carbon fibre sections, very, very accurate. And I ain't got a reel to contend with. Oh my! Yeah!
No! No! That's not bad. Here we go. I've hooked one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's not often I'm excited to catch a bream, but right now, this is exactly what we need. Ah,
It flicked slime in my eye.
As the match went on, I became curious as to whether it was Matt's skill or all his fancy gear that was making the difference. And so, at half-time, we agreed to do a swap.
So if I just leave the pole here, does the boat stop?
No, you must move the pole out of the water.
Oh, no way, no way, no way, fish. I think we have an issue. Not quite what I had in mind.
Well, come on, what are you giving me?
That is a £3.6.
Been fair there, hasn't he?
Unsurprisingly, Matt had beaten me, even without his high-tech equipment.
I tell you what, they weigh well, they do. £1.12. Well done.
I think you might have won.
I'd learnt a lot from our session, but I was keen to know more about Matt and his journey through the world of match fishing.
How much of your life have you had to commit to match fishing to win the stuff that you've won?
A lot of it, all of it really, but not in a forced way. I've enjoyed doing it. I love it, you can tell probably.
But do you have to make any sacrifices?
Oh, well.
Like, do you have any friends?
No. I don't know if that's the ginger hair or the match fishing.
A few weeks later, I woke up to a delivery from Matt. I think perhaps he'd felt sorry for me, watching as I sat on my plastic box, and he'd sent me some really nice kit to use throughout Riverfest. Well, assuming I could actually get my hands on some tickets.
I don't know why I'm so nervous.
I'd been told that once for sale, the tickets quickly run out. So there we were, Omi and I, repeatedly hitting refresh until the website allowed us to buy some.
Oh, my heart is pounding.
I was hoping to enter into 10 or more qualifiers, enough to try and increase my chances of getting through to the final. But when the time came, my computer decided it wanted to freeze on the webpage.
Come on, don't do this to me, website. It just crashed on my computer.
Omi could see that the tickets were quickly selling out, and I had this horrible feeling that my campaign could be over before it had even started.
Oh, you're saving my bacon. It's all crashed on mine completely.
Just in the nick of time, Omi's computer connected to the site, and we were able to quickly grab 2 tickets before they all sold out.
That's it, it's happening now.
2 chances for success. Not exactly the odds I was hoping for, but it was something. 2 weeks later, my cameraman and I arrived at the meeting point for the first match.
Hello there. Do you guys know where the organiser or the...
I felt like I was entering into a world completely alien to me.
Okay, so I'm a little bit nervous now. This is real. A lot of people in this room, and they all know a lot more about match fishing than I do.
We listened to the rules, and all of a sudden I was queuing up to draw my fishing spot for the day. I really was quite nervous, wondering what on earth I'd got myself into, but I had my ticket, my barrow loaded, and it was time to go and see where we'd be fishing for the day.
That's really heavy, that is.
As I began to walk downstream towards my swim, I started to notice that everyone else looked a little more professional than I did. I had the right gear, but the other anglers just had an air of, well, organisation, properness. They looked like they knew what they were doing, and I'd suddenly realised that I didn't.
85, because it doesn't look very spicy. There'll be some fish here, but it's going to be a hard match.
The river was split into 3 sections, supposedly based on how they fished and what lived in there, to try and give 3 separate opportunities for a win. In other words, if you win your section, you're getting through to the Riverfest final. I didn't have to win the whole match, just my part of it. However, I'd drawn a rubbish swim. I was in between 2 good stretches of river, barbel heaven to my left and potential for big bream to my right, but in front of me was featureless, slow-moving water. Woo! Needless to say, I wasn't super hyped for the day ahead of me.
It's easy to be put off by the bad swim, because it doesn't look good. Oh no, the maggots are way too mazy.
Carl, you're blowing maggots into the river.
No, this is actually the tactic. That? Oh no, look.
Despite accidentally breaking the rules by putting bait into the river before the start of the match, I was actually beginning to feel a little hopeful. Still nervous, definitely nervous.
I've got this. I've watched the videos, I've read the magazines, and I know what I'm doing.
But no matter what was about to happen, great success or miserable failure, I was going to learn a lot, and that was enough to keep me going.
I get the feeling that tree there is going to hold some fish. It's deeper along that far side, so I'm going to fish feeder out there.
The match already started. I got distracted. I went for a little walk because I was stressed. And then we didn't realise that the match had actually begun already. We're angling. The match has begun. I've got to start feeding my spots. And now we wait for a long time. Because it's match fishing, you're like, come on then, we're running out of time here.
It had only just dawned on me how restrictive it is to fish with just one rod. If I was here for fun, I'd probably still have a feeder rod cast out, but whilst waiting for a big fish to take the bait, I'd be float fishing or have a whip targeting smaller fish to keep myself busy. But sitting here waiting behind just one rod and one tactic, wondering if or when I should change, was definitely a strange situation to find myself in.
Just realised how boring this is going to be. It's just suddenly hit me. But at any moment that rod could just hoop round, it'd be like an 8-pound barbel, and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I could win my section. Like, it could all change so fast, that's terrifying.
But that's not really what happened. Half an hour quickly evaporated without even a nibble to show for my efforts.
Half an hour? Seriously? Ooh, that's starting to get a little bit long, that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this 4 minutes or something and then drop in here and see what the size is of these fish. Said that very confidently. See if I can catch one of these fish. Because if I get no bites on that as well, then I'm worried. If it's been 45 minutes and I haven't had a fish on feeder, I need to retire the feeder rod. Bit of a tactical change up. We're getting on the waggler. Maggots out. Ow! I cracked my finger on the catapult. Let's hope this goes, I mean, it can't really go worse because I haven't caught anything yet. That was a bite. Missed it. Oh no, got it. Oh, the first fish of my campaign is microscopic.
Several hours passed, and the only thing I seemed to be catching was the occasional tiny bleak.
Oh, that sun is hot.
It wasn't looking good, but I remained hopeful.
There are some better fish down that end if I get to them.
I had tried a few different tactics, different zones out in front of me, but I truly think I'd been given a rubbish piece of water to fish. It made me wonder, are these things won purely on luck of the draw? Sure, you've got to have skills to make the most of a good peg.
What was chasing those? That was chasing those. Go on, Carl. That was a good bit of angling.
But I'm not sure even Matt could magic up a win from where I was sitting.
Well, I don't know why I got the net ready. I thought it was going to be bigger than it actually is. The heck is this?
The river had one little surprise for me.
Kind of cool.
But honestly, I wasn't sure I even wanted to weigh the fish that I'd caught. The match came to an end and I began packing away. But before I could make a speedy getaway, I was asked if I could help with weighing everyone's nets. It was like rubbing salt into a wound, seeing not only how well the anglers on the good spots had done,
There was me thinking I had a chance.
but how people fishing the same rubbish bit as me had managed to catch almost triple the amount of fish.
10-10.
Lovely.
Reluctantly, I had my keep net weighed as well.
£2.6.
Oh, you stepped in it.
Oh, I did. £2.6 and I stood in the dog poo. I got some work to do. Turn the camera off now.
You might not believe me after what you've just watched, but this style of angling was actually how I first got into fishing. I was attracted to it by all the different species you could catch, and that there wasn't really a wrong way to do it. So long as you had a hook and some bait, you can catch fish. But there's definitely certain tactics that work a lot better than others. And in hindsight, had I known that the fish in my previous match would be so tiny, I would have used something called a fishing pole rather than a rod to speed everything up and put more of them into my net. I had one more match to go, another chance to try and get into that final, and this time I was going to be prepared.
So that's in case the sun's in my eyes.
Yeah.
And then that's like, if the sun's behind me. Never realised how big this operation is here.
Massive, innit?
Like, Guru have got tackle for everyone in the world.
We should rob it, shouldn't we?
My sponsor had agreed to give me a fishing pole for my next match.
Yeah, let me film you. You get the pole, that's your pole, you get it out. Smell it, you've got to smell it, it's a new pole.
Is that what you do?
What's it smell like?
The finest Japanese carp. 6.5 meters, and I am holding that with one hand.
Right. Shall I press record and we'll go through the proper take?
Press record?
Yeah? Do you want me to press record and we'll do it like the proper take?
You are joking, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I'd just drop by their office, pick it up and leave, but it turns out there's a little more to it.
Wait, we're gonna drill holes in the pole?
Yeah.
Before I could confidently fish with the pole, we'd need to thread elastic through the end section to absorb the lunges of a hooked fish and reduce losses.
I feel like it's your turn to do one.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll try.
The first bit's the hardest because it tries to slip around. But you can just like penetrate a little bit.
Just give him
Perch.
little roach.
If you're on that one in the final, when you're in this big final,
Yeah.
we're sharing the money.
I'm so grateful for getting it all started for me. It would have been a day in my shed just confused.
It's all in the winning sharing contract.
That's it,
mate.
yeah, we don't mind helping a bit because
The winning sharing what?
well, it's
contract.
50% for me and Matt and then 50% for you, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that relies on me
Winning.
winning the prize money.
But you're not doing this to come second, are you?
Very true.
We're back up on the River Severn, and today is qualifier number 2.
Here we are. See, I wonder if there's any science between being at the front of the queue or being at the back.
I think the good pegs are left behind at the bottom of the bucket.
Right, they weigh more, so they sink.
Yeah.
I have peg 93. A couple of guys there were like, you've done well to get that one. So here goes nothing.
On the drive down to the river, I was told by a friend that I'd drawn a peg located in a stretch known for barbel, one of my favourite species. Pole fishing was suddenly a no-go. It was time for some big fish tactics. I didn't know whether to be excited or terrified, but luck seemed to be on my side as I had the favoured swim. This was my biggest and, to be honest, only chance to get a place in the final.
That actually looks quite tasty. Where do you start in this peg? We've got some oxygenated water up the top where there's some like ripples. 2 big loads of bedrock running parallel, so like the current is channeled through the middle. It just depends whether or not the shoals of barbel and chub are here, not in one of the other pools upstream or downstream. But we'll see. This is looking more promising than last time. Didn't realise the next peg was so close.
No way. No way. You're never there. I've got 10 yards.
He's angry. He might pack up and go home. That's savage. I need to focus on my match. Heightened emotions at this one.
The match had begun, and similar to the other anglers around me, I opted to start with a feeder rod. If I supposedly had a peg that was known for big fish, like chub and hopefully barbel, I needed to make the most of it. Figuring out where best to cast was a little tricky, and my first few bites turned out to be weed gathering down the line. But instead of panicking, I'd allowed myself this first hour to fish heavy and hope for a big barbel.
It's so deep. I've got a really good spot. I feel like I would have had bites on the float by now, but they'd probably be little things. And if I've drawn a barbel peg, I really need to try and catch some big chub or barbel.
However, after 2 hours of no bites and news that other anglers were catching barbel and bream, I wondered if the fish might be held up further down the swim. I needed a way to reach them, and so, somewhat reluctantly, I switched to the float. This wasn't really the presentation I wanted, but I was desperate to start filling my net, and it didn't take long. I quickly caught a couple of decent dace, but they weren't the barbel I was hoping for.
Dace. Beautiful dace, in fact. Plump dace.
It's strange. Any other day I'd be overjoyed to catch a handful of dace on the float, but add competition into the mix and it all becomes so very different.
Got to stay confident though and believe that the bigger fish will turn up, because if they do, it's all to play for. My God, weed again.
You doing YouTube?
Oh, I've seen you boy on YouTube.
Yeah, that's it.
How you saying? You good?
Yeah, it would be better if I was catching some fish. Float has been really poor. Feeder has been slow. I've had a handful of dace, but it's nowhere near enough to qualify. I need a barbel or a chub. So I'm actually going to try rolling meat. This isn't really a very match tactic, but I've got a swim with lots of current, and I want to explore further down than I can cast. And I should be able to do that by bumping some span through. Bites on rolled meat though are so exciting. So if I get one, I'll be hyped. No. That really hurts. That was a barbel. Snapped me clean off. I didn't pull all that hard. That is so painful, man. That was an unbelievable bite. The thing with rolling meat is you have to pay so much attention. And bites on the feeder are pretty obvious. Bites on this, because you've got a lot of line paid off. It's actually quite hard to spot the bites. Snag?
Big fish. Big fish. Definitely big fish.
Oh my God. Seriously big fish. It has to be a barbel. That's so heavy. Rolling meat, bro. I should have done it from the start. What an idiot. I'm terrified. At this point, this is actually not fun anymore.
These guys are packing up. These guys are literally done with the day. Meanwhile,
never give up.
With light tackle and jagged rocks in every direction, I had to play the fish so carefully, but it did mean the fight lasted what felt like an eternity.
That feels amazing. That feels amazing. I'm not even gonna look at it. We're in the game. We're back in the match. We are back in the match.
With the other anglers leaving, just as my tactics started paying off, I allowed myself to feel maybe a little excited. Perhaps it was too little, too late, but I was getting bites from big fish. I just had to concentrate and see this through. It wasn't long till I connected with another, a barbel for sure, but it quickly got snagged, so I decided to chase after it, as this one really mattered.
I feel a bit sick. That one was like solid. There wasn't a lot I could do with it. Big one. God, I can't lose another one to a snag.
you can't lose another one full stop if the guy below's had one.
No, I know. I love barbel, and if they can help me qualify, I'd be so happy. Like, why was I dace fishing? What did you say we have? Half an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Sounds like the guy up there's had a barbel. I heard him shouting. That's, I think, his second one. Someone walked past, told me he'd had one earlier. Not what I wanted to hear at this stage in the match. We've got 5 minutes left. Oh dear, man. I literally don't even know what to say. It's been one of those. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
How many barbel did you end up with?
Just a 2.
2?
Yeah. How about you?
I've just caught chub.
That's it.
Put that in the net.
Tip them up now. Hang on, there's another one. Little chub or something.
Did we get him? There he is.
£11.12.
Cool. Thank you.
Well done.
So far, best weight you've seen is 13.
32 so far.
Oh. 11, 12, 13. £2. I was £2 away. I was the fish that I lost away. I could have had it. I could have been in the final with a fish like that. But I missed out by £2. Match fishing, man. I hate it.
I'd stepped into the world of competitive fishing, and honestly, I'd made it so much further than I expected. I'd made friends and learnt a lot along the way. I guess fishing is what you make of it. It's unique to you, and what you love about it is yours to decide. I'm not sure that I'll return to match angling, but my desire to experience all that fishing has to offer, that has only just begun.
Bro!